Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here, hopefully your favorite official content creator for First Descendant, and today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that the charge-intensive module for the Enduring Legacy, unlike what some have claimed, is not really very good. My viewers have been coming to me these past few days saying, are any of the new modules good for Enduring Legacy? I heard that this module was the greatest. Well, we're about to show you in this video that it isn't, and we actually have a full stream that we have done to prove that this isn't the case. So if you guys missed it, don't worry, the link is in the video description. This is the stream. All right, I tested out for about 2.5 hours during the stream. The last hour was just messing around, but 2.5 hours during the stream, I tested out the Enduring Legacy with charge intensive under a variety of situations, and I can certainly say it did not perform as well as concentration priority. We're going to get into the math shortly, but before that, I have a quick sponsored ad from Yume, so I hope you guys will check that out. When we come back, we'll get into the math. So, see you in the gear. Hey there everybody, I've just got one question for you guys. Do you like Hawaiian shirts? Because I've just partnered with Yume in order to offer you guys 100% eco-friendly, premium Aloha-inspired apparel. There are literally hundreds of designs that you can choose from for men, women, kids, everything. I urge you guys to take a look at this website. And if you find something that you like, make sure to use code RAR10 at checkout. Alright, link is in the description. Aloha, see you in the gear. Alright, welcome back everybody. And don't forget to register me as your content creator, especially if you like the video content. All right, link is in the video description. Now, let's get started. Okay, so what has been argued recently, or so my viewers have said, is that the charge-intensive module for general rounds is better than concentration priority or several of the other rounds. I have to tell you that this is not really the case. So here's my Glay build for the Enduring Legacy. Many of you guys will recognize this from the video. Okay, what I am going to show you in this is that, first and foremost, let me remove my cam. Okay, let's talk about the math behind this. All right, charge intensive gives you 36% firearm attack and increases your firearm critical hit damage by 20%. Concentration priority, though, increases it by 120% and decreases your reload time modifier. All right. So first, you got to understand how people fall for this trap and why the information in question is a trap in the first place. So we're just going to remove focus fire, inside focus, and concentration priority. This is to give myself enough module capacity to show you guys the math. So we're going to save it first, right? First and foremost, you guys need to understand that each of these modules is different. Okay, so let me just change that mod slot temporarily. Let's start from the beginning. If you use charge amplification, keeping all the rest of the mods the same, all right, my DPS goes up by 81,000. Charge intensive increases it by 127,000, which is fantastic. Concentration priority, though, cannot be put in together with charge intensive, so it conflicts. So we put it here. 148,546. Just from this alone, we can see that concentration priority is going to increase your DPS by the greatest amount out of all three mods. However, there's something else that people forget. It's not just an increase in DPS like this, because guess what? There's a negative modifier, reload modifier minus 30%. Did you know that although it doesn't actually increase your damage per hit, a reload modifier will actually cause, all right, your DPS to go up? All right, even if we were to put in one that has like no extra effect, like increasing critical hit damage or whatever, it increases DPS. You guys can see that, right? So if you guys can see that, you realize that this negative modifier on concentration priority actually has an impact on the final damage value, which means the final DPS value is a lot higher than what is shown here. This is called the DPS trap. Many people fall for this DPS trap, and I've seen several of you fall for it as well. All right, you know, just let me put it a little bit funny so you guys can laugh along. Excuse me, Asian robot, my Enduring Legacy has more DPS than yours. How come you're killing them faster? Well, if you actually watched the DPS trap, you guys would understand. But anyway, the point is, all right, don't fall for the DPS trap. All right, so we now know that numbers wise, concentration priority is actually the highest DPS giving you the highest item giving you the most DPS. All right. Okay. Words are hard. Now, why is that the case? Let's actually crunch the numbers a little bit more. If we go in depth using the left-hand side panel, I'm going to remove my cam again for this. Okay. Your Enduring Legacy has a firearm critical hit rate with all these modules of about 27.8%. Okay? Now, your critical hit damage multiplier is 4 times. All right? And your firearm attack is 25,389. It has no weak point damage multiplier. Okay? So, whenever you hit the target, it's going to be this firearm attack multiplied by the potential chance for it to crit. And if it crits, it gets multiplied by 4. So 25,000, you go to 100,000. This is raw numbers without taking into account enemies' damage reduction, all that other stuff, all right? I'm just giving you an example. Now, when you add concentration priority, what you are increasing is the multiplier. The multiplier goes from 4 times to 6.78, all right? 25,000 times 6.78, which, if you were to math it out, all right, 27,000 multiplied by 6.78 ends up at 169,500. Okay, I will show you this calculation shortly. If we were to take 25,000 and we were to multiply it by, say, let me just remove this. The multiplier is 4.02. All right. That is a difference in terms of raw numbers. Let me bring up the window. That is a difference in terms of raw numbers of about 60,000, all right? So 25,000 multiplied by 6.78, which you can see there, is 169,500. By 4.02, it's 100,500. So the difference is about 69,000. Nice, all right? Okay, now that you understand that, when we introduce something like concentration, when we introduce something like, where is it? Charge intensive. Okay, you are still increasing the multiplier, but not as much as concentration priority. So you're getting 30,124.95 multiplied by 4.48. We're going to introduce these new numbers into the calculation from before. So I'll just round that to 30,100 multiplied by 4.48. So it's not exact, but rough. It gives you a rough guesstimate. All right. Now, take a look at this again. Your per shot damage of 30,100 multiplied by 4.48 ends up 134,800. Significantly more than what you saw before when we didn't have a mod in. But if you were to just take a look at this, it's still less than 169,500. Makes sense, right? This is the number crunching that many people don't get or don't do. Now, if you were to add in other factors as well, then the differences become even more stark. All right. This is why the DPS number changes drastically. If you were to put in the full build, all right, normally for Glay, oops, sorry, let me just change this over. Normally for Glay, what I do is concentration priority. I'll also have my inside focus here, okay, giving me an even higher multiplier, 6.9, and then focus fire up here, which gives me 7.079 with an extra weak point multiplier of 1.2. Okay, so if we were to multiply it all out, for this one, we'll ignore the weak point hit. All right, if we were to take these numbers and do a rudimentary calculation like before, so 25, well, we'll just use the 25,000 from before. It's a nice little guesstimate. 7.079. Okay, and then in the other situation, now we remove that. Let's put charge intensive back on. 30,100, and the multiplier is 4.779. Okay, let's bring up the window again, and voila. So with concentration priority, 7.079 multiplier, I have a excuse me, 176,000 here, right? Okay. With the 4.77 multiplier from charge intensive, I have about 143,847. So it is still less, mathematically speaking. Now, this assumes that a crit triggers, right? A lot of people will say, oh, but this calculation is incorrect because you're assuming that a crit is triggering. Yes. Under both circumstances, I've assumed that a crit is triggered. The critical rate, therefore, doesn't factor. I'm just showing you guys that there's going to be a difference, right? So people say, but no. The thing is that your normal hits are actually going to be better, and therefore, on average, you're going to do more DPS. Incorrect. This is where you have to do the practical testing as well. Let me just readjust the build. So now I'm showing you this on Glay, but we actually did the test with several other characters as well. Let me actually show you the spreadsheet. And you can actually verify everything that's in the spreadsheet by checking out the stream. Once again, if you did not see it, all right, this was the stream. Link is in the video description. Don't miss this, okay? All right. Now, if you actually bring up the window here, all right, we did a spreadsheet like this where I recorded the kill times, and you can actually match this to what is seen on stream. With Glay, okay, we tested two different Colossi, Executioner, Dead Bride. They're basic, easy, and when we do these tests, right, what I do is I make sure that if there is a significant difference in the kill time, then it means that one mod is better than the other, right? Now for Glay, with charge intensive, as you can see there, right, Executioner's average kill time was about 78 seconds. This assumes perfect reload cancels, or in Glay's case, this assumed that I was constantly triggering her ability, all right, to have unlimited ammo. Now there was one outlier here, 106, and there was one outlier on the opposite side, so it evens out. On average, 78-second kill time. Now, with Dead Bride using charge intensive, the average was about 65 seconds, all right? On average, the range was between 55 to 71, so it was like that. Now, when you run concentration priority instead for Glay, you will get a significant difference in the Executioner kill time, all right? The average was about 50 seconds, with the range going from 39 all the way up to 66, all right? So similar range that you're seeing here. Now, for Dead Bride, it actually went from 44 up to 48 with an average of 53. So the difference is not as drastic, all right? Where Executioner had like a whopping 28-second difference on average, but for Dead Bride, the difference is more like, rough calculation, 7 plus 5 is 12 seconds average, all right? But concentration priority still won, even though Glay is a character that cannot guarantee the crits, all right? That's the first thing I want to say. Glay cannot guarantee the crits. But what about Haley and Enzo? If you check the stream, we actually did a test with Haley and Enzo as well. And the results were similar, not quite as shocking, but similar. Take a look. All right. On Enzo, right, with the charge intensive module, what we actually had was an average kill time for charge intensive of 40 seconds for Executioner, 36 for Dead Bride. With concentration priority, you know, considering he's a crit character, the differences are amazingly not that different. And concentration priority was still better, with a 36-second average kill time versus 40 seconds, but Dead Bride was 31 versus 36. So the differences are there, but they're not quite as stark as before. I think it's because Enzo almost always hits crits, so you're still getting pretty much the full multiplier. And this is where, if you're using charge intensive, yes, you're multiplying a larger base, but because the multiplier number is so significant for concentration priority, even though you're multiplying a larger base with charge intensive, concentration priority still wins out, all right? Let me just quickly show you the Enzo build. So those of you on stream would have seen this, but excuse my nose, weather's a bit cold. If you take a look at this, right? This is the Enzo build, which you guys would have seen from my video about Enzo with the 20k shields. Let me swap over. So this is exactly what I was using on Enzo, all right? concentration priority, concentrate support ammo, expand weapon charge to get the 200 ammo in your magazine. All right, this is what I was using, and I was still using the 23,000 shield build. Again, you can verify by checking the streams. So this is exactly what I was using. No hanky-panky in the modules. Nothing has changed from what I've shown you guys on my build video. I don't change this thing because obviously you have to hold it consistent. But basically, yeah, the results showed that concentration priority was better. Now for Enzo, there was not as significant a difference. Enter Haley. Haley showed now still not as significant as Glay, but she still showed a more significant difference than Enzo. For Haley, I used my gun build, which again is on the channel. You guys can check and verify on stream. Basically, what I did was that I had a 37-second average kill time for Executioner, 31 seconds for Dead Bride with charge intensive. But as soon as I put on concentration priority, Executioner dropped down from 37 seconds down to 31, and Dead Bride dropped from 31 seconds down to 25. Now, under all these circumstances, I tried to make sure that I did the same things. Reload cancel was perfect, all that kind of stuff. In fact, if you go back to Enzo's test, I actually had to delete 2 runs for Enzo during his test with concentration priority, because for Enzo's case, right, what actually happened was that in 2 of the tests, I had a weird situation whereby I failed my perfect reload cancels, which unfortunately for Enzo, in order to have a fair test, I had to hit every single reload cancel perfectly. So do take note that that is in the footage. You can verify that, so I do apologize. But yes, I tried to make sure the circumstances were as even as possible in all cases. In Haley's case, you can actually achieve a faster time than what I'm showing you here if you use her first skill. But I did not during the test because it could have skewed the results one way or another. Maybe I pressed it faster in one run or the other, so I decided not to use it. The numbers you're seeing are without me using her first skill, which greatly enhances her damage, right? So you can actually get even better results than what I'm showing you here. So what is the conclusion of all this? The conclusion is that for those of you that bought into the whole myth that charge intensive is better for the Enduring Legacy, it is not. The Enduring Legacy is a crit weapon. I strongly urge you guys to properly check DPS, all right? The DPS count with concentration priority, just as an example, 791,000, yeah. Swapping it over to charge intensive, 751,000, all right? DPS has a trap, and it is not always reliable because, for example, like you guys would have seen in the Glay build, all right? Taking out focus fire, all right, and adding in, just as an example, weak point sight. My DPS is still lower, and weak point sight has a 35% increase, whereas focus fire is 20% to weak point, 6.5% to critical hit damage, but only focus fire is having an increase at all. All right, this is because weak point damage is not included in DPS calculations, so please be aware of that. Because weak point damage is not included in DPS calculations, along with several other things like fire enhancement, I could take that out and still not, you know, and still not have any change to DPS. But fire enhancement, did you know that fire enhancement is improving your DPS by about 30% baseline, and your fire element hits on the enemy can also crit. They do not get weak point multipliers, but they do get crit multipliers. It's crazy. So the DPS window is not always reliable, and that's why you have to test and know for yourself. All right, this is all crucial. So make sure you test, check, and know for yourself. All right. We tested everything under even circumstances for both, and the conclusion that we came to is that concentration priority is far superior. So if you guys are still using my old Enduring Legacy build, keep using it because that is the best. You cannot use any of the new mods to get a higher DPS count. It simply won't work. Your kill times will be better with concentration priority, whether using a crit character or not. That is one of the arguments that was put forward. I used Glay, who's a non-crit character, and then I used Enzo and Haley, who are both crit characters. Same result would have come forth if we used Valby, who is also a crit character. So I hope this explains to you guys that, look, not every creator out there has your best interest in heart. There's a lot of people out there, all right? And this is why I urge you, be very careful about the content you consume, because anytime something new comes out, everybody wants to be the first to publish information. Nobody cares whether the information is true or not. I do, because that's my job. I'm a professional, all right? But these other guys out there, I can't vouch for them. I don't know them. I don't interact with anybody other than my own viewers. So I urge caution. I don't know these people. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they do. I name no names because I have a strict drama avoidance policy. I'm not interested in what they do. But you as a viewer need to protect yourself. So be very careful about falling into DPS traps. Be very careful and test for yourself. Don't just believe somebody blindly. They got to be able to show you the numbers. They got to be able to prove it on stream. They got to be able to show you the truth. And if they cannot do that, then maybe they're not the right creator for you. All right? The choice is yours at the end of the day, but this is what I did. I've got the facts here. I've got all the receipts. You can go view them for yourself. All right? Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to register me as your content creator, especially if you enjoy what I do. And last but not least, if you haven't already, all right, we got to thank some of our top supporters this month. Unfortunately, the members list is still bugged. I don't know why YouTube is like that. It's because they're rolling out their new feature, I think. But anyway, here's our top supporters for October. Top tipper is Anonymous at 500. Thank you so much. Top tipper list includes CG Mayhem, Another Gary, Rafijana. Thank you guys so much. Top super chatter is CU Yuri. Top super chatter list includes George Tishon, D Russ, Track Hoodie, Lawbreaker, Chanel Name, Sir Tommy Gun, Ted Wu, Craig Ricketts, South Goblin. Thank you guys so much. Top channel membership gifter is Haza. Also includes D Russ, Foxy Kim, Arcane Silver, and Jonathan Terry. Thank you guys so much. I'll see y'all in the next one. Y'all have a good day. Catch you later.